Welcome back to Turf Talk, Shine is Off edition. Vance, you got quite a conversation going on social media, bringing up Real Clear Sports, top 10 American sporting events that have lost its luster, and I certainly shared your dubiousness of the Kentucky Derby being on that list.
Yeah, if you missed it last week, RealClearSports.com compiled a list of 10 sporting events that they figured had lost some luster over the years. The Kentucky Derby was ranked number 2. I didn't quite understand that, considering all the explosive handle gains and attendance gains and even television gains in the last quarter century that we've seen from the Kentucky Derby. I could have understood if horse racing in general was number 2 on the list. Obviously, it's not as popular as it was decades ago, but having the Kentucky Derby specifically on that list just didn't seem to make much sense.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's an event where if you're not into racing at all, you know about. And granted, there were some other events on that list that would fall into that category too, for auto racing and sailing and various other sports. But to me, people are still very interested in the race. It's not a trivial thing. It's not lip service. There absolutely is mainstream interest. And to me, as long as I've been following it, it's stronger now than it was when I started at Thoroughbred Times 14 years ago, when I started going to the track 25 years ago. I don't understand how that made a list like this.
Yeah, and anecdotally, you hear horsemen, jockeys, trainers, owners all the time whenever they meet somebody that doesn't know anything about horse racing, but they find out that this person is involved. They always say, hey, have you ever won the Kentucky Derby? It's still in the consciousness of America. It's America's race, and I think it will continue to grow from what we've seen in the last few years.
Yeah, and internationally, people know about it too. I mean, if you're a fan of the sport in Australia, just as us being horse racing fans are aware of the Melbourne Cup, they know the Kentucky Derby. And great piece by you in Reaction. We'll put the link down below in the info area, so check that out if you haven't already. One thing, or I shouldn't say thing, one horse I would say did lose some luster though this weekend would be Stage Play. Huge favorite in the Rachel at twinspires.com, Rachel Alexandra at Fairgrounds. I was there live. To me, one of the biggest upsets I've ever seen in person. I couldn't figure Venus Valentine. Some people did. We won't get into the handicapping angle of it, but a truly shocking result to my mind.
Absolutely, and it wasn't so much that she lost, it's the fact that she ran out of the money in the Rachel Alexandra. She had a bad trip on racing wide on a track that was kind of favoring the inside paths all afternoon, but still not to have outrun, some of those horses that did place just didn't make much sense. However, the Connections did have a nice rebound in the Risen Star with Gunrunner coming right back to winning. So a good day, bad day for the Connections, but Stage Play, definitely a bad day for her. She needs to rebound next time.
Yeah, and that is racing though, and it's always incredible to me. I mean, you look at the speed rating she got, it was pretty across the board, or I should say Venus Valentine got across the board a slow race, certainly below par, whether it's Brisnet or someone else you look at, and you think, gosh, any one of these horses would have run what they've run any other time in their career, and they would have won, not only won the race, but some of them would have won by 5, maybe even 10 lengths, and we'd be talking about a superstar, at least visually. To me, it's one of the reasons that makes the game great, even though I completely whiffed on the race. But when you look back, it's so easy to think, what if? And to me, another feather in the cap of trainers who take a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. And trainer Tom Amos did take a legitimate shot here. This filly had won her maiden debut on dirt last fall, had tried turf, running the slop, I think, also. And just on the black and white of the newspaper you were looking at, she just didn't figure to run well in this race, but she did, and all kudos to those Connections.
I was fortunate enough to present the trophy for twinspires.com, and then rode the elevator back up with the owner, who also bred the winning filly. And he hasn't had the greatest success, and it's a tough game, and he acknowledged that. He said a lot of people always ask him, why do you do it? Why do you keep going back? And he said, now I finally have my answer. Yeah. So for every Stage Play in a race, there's that great story too that benefits, and congratulations to them. And I know they're going to go on with it. Maybe we'll see them in Louisville in, what are we down to, 10 weeks?
10 weeks, sounds good.
Yeah, all right. And we'll see you next week for Turf Talk. That's it for now.